And I've got a dirty secret I got to drop right here on the stage, y'all. You want to hear it? You might not like what I have to say. The fact is, our brains are still very much wired the same way they were when we were hanging out in caves. It's true. We think we're so much more sophisticated than we are, but our brains are still wired for two things: survival and reproduction. And that's pretty much it. Your brain is constantly scanning the environment for 5 factors. Will it eat me? Can I eat it? Have I seen it before? Will it mate with me? Oh, yeah. How you doing? I wish you could see her face. She's like, oh my God, no, she didn't. Don't look at me like that, honey. And let me turn off the Bound Chicka Wow music. It's not just my dirty little mind. All of your minds are dirty too, because that's how we're wired. But we're going to talk about this last one. Have I seen it before? Our brain remembers patterns. Look at this. Can't you smell that salty air? Who would like to go hang out on this beach? Raise your hand. Yeah. Okay, so let's say we're hanging on this beach. What are we drinking? Corona? Drink some Corona? Eat some ceviche? Okay, let's channel our inner Zach Brown and imagine we got our toes in the water and our ass in the sand. Not a worry in the world and a cold beer in my hand. Life would be good today. So let's imagine we're sitting there having a great time, and then all of a sudden this rogue wave comes out of nowhere and catches us off guard. And when it goes back into the ocean, it pulls our ceviche wrappers and our Corona bottles back into the water, and we unintentionally pollute the water. So let's imagine then our teams come behind us, and they want to have a really great time too, but they get in the water and they start bumping into stuff like this. What would they do? Yell it out. What would they do if you got in the water and start bumping into stuff like this? Yeah, get out. Ew. That's gross. Nobody wants to swim in a polluted environment. You see where I'm going? This is an analogy for our teams and our work environments. And that as leaders, we can unintentionally pollute the water so people can't thrive. They might stick their toe in the water just a little bit, but they're not fully going to engage because we cannot, as humans, survive in toxic environments. And what we know now is these are the attribute of healthy teams and healthy environments. Really simple. People are treated fairly. They're made to feel welcome, and they're included in key decisions. Now read this. Read it together. What does it say on the screen? Ooh, y'all sound uncomfortable just saying it. Conflict is healthy. Conflict. It's at the intersection of conflict where the really great ideas are discovered. But what do we oftentimes do when it gets uncomfortable? How many of you recently have heard someone say, let's take this offline? Raise your hand. Yeah, more, you know, it gets uncomfortable, so we take it offline. Well, here's what happens when it gets offline. Ooh, it really gets nasty. Because then you have behind the scenes backbiting and jockeying for position, and it grows and festers and turns into toxic culture. I haven't told you about is my studly firefighting husband. Yes, y'all. Yeah, girl. My honey is fine. Calendar-worthy firefighter fine, okay? He's a firefighter in Fort Worth, Texas. Shout out to all the first responders. And I love him. If you can't tell, I have a crush on my husband still. We've been married 13 years. He is my best friend. He's a wonderful dad to our 2 little boys. And I adore him. But he gets on my nerves. Ugh, he gets on my... If you love somebody who gets on your nerves, just take your hand. Let me see your heart emoji. Yeah. Don't you sometimes want to turn it this way and... Thank y'all for those who did that. For those who didn't, either your spouse is sitting next to you or you lie because they get on your nerves. Well, here's why my husband gets on mine. Because he's a news junkie. Hook, line, and sinker. Mainliner news junkie. And one day, he was watching news. And he was toggling between Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, CNN. I was like, dude, you are really getting on my nerves. Can't you just pick one channel and watch it? And he was like, no. You know these news channels are biased, and if I watch one, I'm gonna get a biased viewpoint of what happened, and I want to know the truth, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. He's fine and he's smart, y'all. But the point of this is our social circles are a lot like our favorite news channels. And they're probably biased. I mean, if we're honest, we are probably surrounded by people who look and think a lot like us. And if we're really, really honest, our social circles are probably more segregated than they are integrated, okay? And what that does to our psyches, it puts us right smack dab in the middle of a group of people that looks and thinks like us. So then we think, oh, I know I'm right, because everybody around me agrees with me, so I must be right. And even the people that I hang out with on social media, they agree with me too. And if they don't, I just unfriend them. I'm talking to somebody in here. Do I have any Ted Lasso fans in the house? Yeah, believe. Love me some Ted Lasso, okay? For those of you who are yet Ted Lasso fans, it's this incredible series on Apple TV about an American football coach who gets duped into going to England to manage FC Richmond, which is a soccer team in England. And he is recruited by the owner of the team who wants to get back at her ex-husband who loves the team. So she finds Ted Lasso, this guy who knows nothing about soccer, to come over and coach the team. Well, they are mean to him when he first gets there because he's so different. He doesn't like tea, he's got a big old southern drawl, he eats barbecue, he's got a big mustache, and they are awful to him and treat him like an absolute outcast. But what Ted Lasso did is he persevered. And he continued to reveal his humanity and his intellectual humility and his empathy for others. And what he did is he turned this community that was us versus them into we. I want to show you a clip to illustrate the point. Let's watch. Us versus them. White versus black. Men versus women. North versus south. Tenants versus staff, HR versus everybody. I'm sorry, y'all.
Hello, friends. I gotta tell you about this experience I recently had on a keynote stage. Hundreds of people in the audience. They were applauding and happy to see me. I threw my hand up in the air and played this video. And then I asked, where are my haters? Any haters in the room want to see my haters? And of course, nobody raised their hand. Well, it was a loaded question. I wasn't actually expecting people to raise their hand, but it was a little bit awkward since I was the only one that was willing to acknowledge I can be a hater from time to time. And the reason why I can be a hater from time to time is simply because I feel envy from time to time. Now, does that make me a hater or does it make me human?
Okay, time's up. Those of you who are paying attention, I want you to take your librarian finger and go like this. Shh. That is still a great trick. We just quieted down a whole room of 2,000 people with that. Shout out to the librarians. Did you hear the buzz in the room? That tells me that you picked up some. Now, let me be honest. I've been pumping you up for the last 45 minutes, but you're going to forget everything I said when you check your inbox. Unless you develop habits. Say habits. Habits. That's the only way you are going to apply what we discussed, my friends. Now, I got a gift for you. If you scan the QR code, I'm going to give you a copy of this presentation. I'm going to give you a book discussion guide and all kind of other resources. All I ask for is your email address. Now, I promise I will not spam you. I don't like spam in my inbox. I like spam for breakfast. Okay, so I will only email you if I have something important to share, but I'm going to send you these resources, okay? And then I'll be hanging out from 4:30 to 5 in the foyer area. I'm officially a part of your social circle, y'all. If you have anything you're trying to work through, call me. I just love what you do, and I love your community, and I want you to be successful. Thank you so much for having me, everybody. Thank you.